Hi, people. Welcome to this week's episode of the Roundup right here on Top 6 Fan TV and an enthralling weekend of action involving the big boys in the English Premier League, the traditional top six, and we'll get into it right after this. Brilliant, brilliant. And if you're just joining us for the first time, you are welcome to Top 6 Fan TV. The show is the Roundup, where I will be recapping some of the activity, the highlights, the biggest talking points from a fantastic weekend of action in the English Premier League. And there's nowhere else to start than the Emirates, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get right into it, hit that subscribe button that's just below your screen. Do feel free to participate by dropping a comment as well. And feel free to also like our content and also share our content with people who you think might be interested in catching up with it. And back to the Emirates, ladies and gentlemen. Rice, rice, baby. It ended. Lots of rice being served to the Red Devils. Fantastic match there. Man United losing 3-1 to Arsenal. Arsenal nicking it at the death with the goals very late on in additional time. Uh, Declan Rice with the winner, 6 minutes into additional time, and Gabriel Jesus following that up, sending Diego Dallo to the water back and, putting the cherry on top of a fantastic performance for the Gunners right there in front of their home crowd. Um, it was a game that served up the usual drama that you would expect from a Manchester United Arsenal game. And of course, the biggest derby in the English Premier League with regards to the fans in Africa, at least. Of course, there are big derbies there that you will expect to have as much drama and excitement. Liverpool United, Arsenal Spurs, Manchester City, Manchester United, and the Manchester Derby. But this one was a big one. This one was a big one. And of course, the teams going into that match were not necessarily in peak form. Arsenal being held in the previous game, Man United, topsy turvy set of results from the beginning of the season, but both having question marks, especially around their formations and how they're set up at the beginning of the season. So the stage was set, and boy, did Arsenal take it, but not without Manchester United providing a scare. Marcus Rashford, as always, scoring against Arsenal and giving United the lead. But just a minute later, Captain Fantastic Odegaard leveling it there for United before, as usual, drama ensued with the decisions. VAR, Arsenal winning a penalty and then having it chalked off by VAR. Manchester United thinking they won it through Garnacho after some sleek play in there, and that being chalked off for an offside, which Gabriel Jesus was doing some Michael Jackson moonwalking, to trade back, try and get, the United attacking player offside, which was eventually successful. Thin margins, ladies and gentlemen, and Arsenal nicking it. Do you feel that the results, or rather the refereeing and the whole VAR um, decisions made during the game lost it for United? Did Ten Hag get his tactics right? Did Mikel Arteta get his tactics right? Feel free to drop your comments, drop your views. But Arsenal winning that one and dominating the statistics. Possession was 50-50%. So you could say that United actually threw their fair share of punches. And some, would feel that United should have gone on to win that game or could have gone on to win that game if Garnacho's goal had been allowed to remain. I think United were a bit solid, but they played more like they gave Arsenal too much respect. soaking up the pressure, taking quite a number of passes. As usual, Nana must have had like 1,000 passes. As usual, is their chief midfield creator. Eventually worked for Rashford's opener, but that is not sustainable for the majority of the game, as you saw. And of course, lots of Arsenal fans taking the mic out of United for ending the match with Maguire and Evans in that defense at this time of the season, or rather in this day and age. But United did play well. I think Rasmus Hojlund came on and showed shoots of having the necessary requirements to actually be a quality striker in the Premier League. Anthony, as usual, was in roundabout mode. But Ericsson, I think, contributed quite well with, those passes that were splitting up United's midfield. Arsenal, of course, missed Thomas Partey, and Kai Havertz had a little bit of a game to forget with that chance that he actually missed, and Bukayo Saka also missing a glorious chance there. But in the end, it does not to matter. Arsenal going with the points. United are left to reflect, heading into the 2-week international season break, international window of qualifiers and friendlies and so on and so forth. But I'm sure they will be back quite strong. United deserved to lose, or were Arsenal lucky with the VAR calls? Give us your views, ladies and gentlemen. And that was the big one of the weekend on Sunday that played out. But before that, we had let me be fair to Liverpool fans, an exciting match, I would say. Liverpool hosting Aston Villa and taking them apart 3-0. The goals coming in from Dominic Szoboszlai, Mohamed Salah, and an own goal from Matty Cash after some great work from Darwin Núñez. There, of course, Liverpool, the big talking point there is Mo Salah. Will he or will he not go to Saudi Arabia? Their transfer window is still open. It closes in 2 days. So you're looking at 6th September to have the Saudi Arabian or Saudi League transfer window closing. So it's still squeaky bum time up in Merseyside. Will Mo Salah be sold? Al Ittihad, the club that has Benzema, that has N'Golo Kante, and a few others, looking quite solid there. But also, you wonder, 150 to 200 million pounds. The money is being, spoken about as the sale price, or the monies that are being offered to Liverpool for a 31-year-old. I know Liverpool will not want to let him go, considering the fact that they have not replaced him in the summer just gone by. But big tipping point, nevertheless, for Liverpool there, and we will see what happens with Mo Salah in the next few days coming out of England. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Besides that, Manchester City continuing to do what they do best. Fantastic result Saturday, winning 5 at home to Fulham. Hat-trick there for the golden boy, Haaland, who just, go by, basically swept almost all the individual accolades. World FIFA best player of the year, PFA player of the year for England, and so on and so forth. Continues to go on and break records and continue to be impressive in that team. Of course, the team lacking but still business and City but putting Fulham to the sword. And of course, in the other games, we did see Spurs running into peak form. And of course, those two guys there are really running the orchestra for Spurs, James Maddison and Son. Son coming back into form, scoring a hat-trick there for Spurs, and a great result for them, beating Burnley away at Tough Moor 5-2. The other goals coming from Romero and a Madison goal right there. So Spurs looking good under Postecoglou. We will see. We'll wait to see how they will be tested after the international to a bit of the fixtures after the break, after the fixtures coming up after the international break. But Spurs definitely looking in good form. But the weekend started miserably for another of the top six. Chelsea, after showing shoots of germination under Pochettino, they're suddenly gone into a stretch of potholes, and their car is coming to a halt rather quickly, losing at Stamford Bridge while 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, the goal coming in from ex-Man United attacker Elanga, who ran them ragged for most of the game. And more money, more problems. Is it for Chelsea? Let us know in the comments. Or is it Pochettino who's not fit for the job? I personally feel that Chelsea is still a work in progress. They're still taking time to gel. But according to Todd Bowley, throw some more money at those problems. Throw some more money at the problems. All they need to do is spend another billion shillings. And I'm sure the Chelsea fans will not be happy with the results right now after all that money being spent. But what to do? Ever since Abramovich left, things have gone down for Chelsea. But I'm sure they will be back. They need a little bit more time. But, ideally, you would expect them to do much better than they have been doing so far. So let us know what your views are on those results from the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be back after the international break to catch up with the rest of the action from the Premier League and looking at the fixtures coming in after that international break. You have some big ones. Liverpool away to Wolves, that is on the 16th of September. And then you have Manchester United welcoming Brighton to Old Trafford. It doesn't get any easier for United. They have to pull up their socks and do that pretty fast. Spurs have an easy one. Sheffield United, one of the new boys in the league, going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium before Manchester City are welcomed to West Ham's United Stadium in London. And then obviously Chelsea, play next and play away to Bournemouth. And that action is wrapped up by Arsenal visiting Goodison Park to play Everton. So we will see what happens in that particular set of fixtures. Fantastic joining us, and thank you for joining us. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Drop your comments on the big talking points from the weekend. Great result for Arsenal, fantastic result. Were they flawless, or did the referees and VAR bail Arsenal out in their win against Manchester United? What's going on with Chelsea? Do they need more money to fix their issues? And what is going to happen at the top with some teams firing on all cylinders? Manchester City, Spurs, and Liverpool starting to pick up form at a good time. Not to mention Arsenal, who seem to be back in it. We'll wait to see what happens next. Have a great week and have a great couple of weeks of international football, and we'll be right back when the English Premier League does return. Have a fantastic day. Cheers.